All right, we are in record mode and welcome. This is Chrissy Key Rollins bringing you the wrap up celebration session for this month's Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge that happens every month in the Consciouspreneur Club. And I love this challenge. Y'all hear me say this month after month. I love it. I'm so glad that the thought to create it came to me, that I followed through on it, that I implemented it back a year ago when I first started this group and had the calling to do it month after month after month. And at first I was like, is that crazy? Is that going to be too redundant? But y'all have proven that it's perfect because as new members come in, it's a great way to get plugged into the vibe and the energy of what this group's all about. And for those that have been around the club for a while, it's a perfect opportunity to revisit this content, to clarify that much more, to ground that much more, to get that much more connected to your self-love and self-trust and follow through and all the great things that we talked about throughout the challenge. And I know several people who use this as a go-to thing whenever they're feeling stuck, whenever they're feeling like they're not sure exactly which direction to go, they'll come back and revisit this material over and over again. And I love that. I'm honored by that. And it just never is irrelevant. So it's great to come back to it again and again. And if you're joining this or if you're catching the replay and you haven't taken the challenge, I highly recommend that you either hop over into the group, go ahead and access those trainings that posted over the past week, and or you can just mark your calendar for the first Monday of October. We'll be setting that off. I think that's October the 2nd. That will be underway. So just mark your calendar and plan ahead for it. It only takes, a few minutes of your day each day, and it really makes a huge impact. So in this session today, it is our opportunity to come together to celebrate, to share our takeaways, to answer any questions, to do a nice tasty little recap so that you have a one-stop shop to recap all of this great information that was covered throughout the week. Alicia's asking in the chat, what time will be the 21 days? So the 21 days, the 21 day money power shift is what Alicia's referring to. That's going to start on October 2nd. But once you get signed up, you are going to go ahead and be dropped into the mastermind group. So you can go ahead and get connected. You're going to get a welcome letter in those first 24 to 48 hours after signing up. That's going to get you plugged into the information. Plus, you can go ahead and start earning some referral fees if you introduce this opportunity to some of your friends and they want to take it on too. You can kind of make your money back on your investment before the program even starts, which is really super cool. So maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the hour. And Alicia, if you got any further questions around that, I will totally get you taken care of if you let me know what they are. Okay, so for this wonderful challenge, we kicked it off. I'm just going to do a brief recap of each day of the series. Not going to expand too much, but after I do this recap, we'll open up the line. So if there's anything that you'd like some clarity around, any of these concepts that you're like, yeah, that was really awesome, but how do I, how is it applicable with my situation? We'll have some time for some spot laser coaching. And hey, welcome. I see that there's more people joining. I have everybody muted out, so as you come onto the line, just get settled in, and I'll open it up for some Q&A right after I do this recap. Okay, so we started off this challenge in the place that I feel everything starts at. I reverse engineered action, found that confidence was at that next layer of action, and then at the core confidence is self-love. And the more that I really embrace this self-love in my own life and make it a practice, a living practice in my own life, I find that everything else starts to fall into place. So even if you don't make it past day one of this challenge, if you take a part of that and integrate it into your world, then you will already find a shift. You'll be able to experience life differently. And day one was all about self-love. And I invited you to commit right at the beginning, to commit to following through right then at the beginning, as of right now. Just declare it. From this moment forward, you are somebody who follows through. So often we are waiting for some day to happen before we're going to get to it. Here currently in the US and on the East Coast of the US, we've been having this hurricane headed our way, and it's kind of this big disaster and this fear thing that's happening around everywhere. And it it makes you want to follow through on all those tasks that aren't completed yet. All those things that's like, yeah, we've been meaning to do this. We've been meaning to do this. We've been meaning to buy new batteries. We've been meaning to stock up on candles. We've been meaning to get these things. Well, now it's go time, and you have to follow through on these things. And we can wait until, someday when we got more time, we'll go and check these things off of our to-do list. Someday when the kids start school, then I'll have all this time during my day. Or when this is taken care of, or this project is finished, then I can go back and take care of these unfinished tasks. And someday's never going to come. So you're going to have to start somewhere. So why not start on day one and just declare, from this day moving forward, I'm somebody who sees something through. I'm somebody who naturally follows through. From this day moving forward, I'm going to feel the fear and I'm going to challenge myself to do it anyway. From this moment moving forward, when I feel myself in self-doubt or not taking the action that I really desire, instead of abandoning myself and treating myself really horribly with a lot of negative self-talk, I'm going to begin to link arms with my inner self and become my own partner in life and in business and move forward in a more empowered and aligned way. And I think it's a very powerful thing to do, to make that declaration, to say, from this moment forward, this is how life's going to be, and then move forward as if that is the truth in your life. Anybody who follows my teachings and have plugged into any of my training series, you know that I'm a big fan of the what if, and then moving forward as if that is a truth in your reality, because you're going to move forward as if something. So why not move forward as if you're somebody who follows through? You move forward as if you're somebody who procrastinates and put things off, chances are that's going to be your experience. But if you move forward as if you are what you declare that you are, it's going to be a different experience. So day one, that's what we talked about, making that commitment right up front, partnering with yourself, cleaning up your self-talk, understanding that you're never going to be a champion for your success when you're not treating yourself like a very kind person would do. And you can only get so excited about helping somebody who's treating you like crap to make it to success. So learning how to kind of slow down to speed up, take those steps back, pay attention to that self-talk, become your own best business partner. And I invited you to integrate a very simple yet very powerful practice of just taking 1 moment, 2 moments, as often as you can throughout your day, whatever fits into your life and into your awareness, and just placing a hand on your heart and giving yourself an I love you. When I first, again, recognized this practice, I realized, gosh, I tell my daughter no short of 17 times every hour, I love you. Why would I not go through my day, or why would I go through my day not giving any of that love to myself? Great way to get anchored and rooted. Great way to start to shift that experience that you have of yourself. As you go through your day, no matter what's happening, you always deserve more love, not less. And give yourself your undivided attention. Pay attention to what you're physically feeling in your body. Get out of your head, into your body, and pay attention to the fact that when you drive down the road by yourself, you've got you and yourself in the car. So really connect your awareness back to you. I just heard this training over the weekend, and that's why you join these live trainings month after month after month, because when I do this stuff live, I'm going to bring you this content from the perspective that I have of current day to day. And one of my spiritual gurus, Matt Kahn, who I'm a huge fan of, Kahn, he was speaking on how, gosh, what was I going to say about that? It's okay. Just slipped my mind. Check out Matt Kahn. Apparently I was just supposed to mention him. It'll come back around to me if it's something that was really needed for this session. But give yourself your undivided attention. Pay attention to yourself. That's what Matt said to me. He's like, when you first come into this life, you are in your body, but you didn't choose to be in the sense of making that conscious choice. You're just forced into your body and you're exploring the world through your body. And then at some point you leave your body because either society says it's wrong, you don't like the way it feels, it's not looking the way that Maxim magazine says that it should look, or whatever that thing is. And we abandon our body. We leave it behind, we escape it, we start living in our head. To really go where it is that your heart desires for you to go, we have to consciously choose to return to our bodies and become one with our body and really allow our soul to integrate into our body. So this idea of feeling as much of yourself as possible, really connecting to your internal body wisdom. Stick around till the end of this session. If you're here on the line live, I'm going to take you through a guided meditation that allows you to really sink into your body, anchor into your body, and tap into your body's wisdom that's there. So yes, self-love is where it all begins. Anytime on this journey, if you're finding yourself stumbling, come back to self-love, because again, stumbling or walking the line perfectly, you always deserve more love, not less. Come back to self-love. And when you get rooted in your self-love, when you get really practice at your self-love, when it becomes not something that you're doing in order to get, but just something that you do for the sheer pleasure of it, which I highly recommend you do everything just for the sheer pleasure of it. Challenge yourself too. It will change your life. Then you find that follow through is not so tough. You don't have to cattle prod yourself. You don't have to force yourself to follow through. You naturally begin to follow through. Your follow through becomes a demonstration of your self-love. It becomes an action, an actionable item that's part of your day as a result of your self-love. When you give yourself love and you connect to what your heart's really asking for, and you become that advocate for your internal self and begin to live that out loud in your life, guess what you're going to be doing? You're going to be following through on all of your heart's desires. It's the natural side effect. So again, if you're somebody who really struggles with follow through, before you force yourself into a system, because from my personal experience, there was no system that set me free. None. No system set me free. I now use a lot of systems to be more effective in my work, but it's not because of the system that I'm working it. It's because I love myself that I'm working it, and the system just allows it to flow. That's why I don't teach people how to create a practice like cookie cutter practice. I teach you how to create your own structure so you got somewhere for it to flow. It's very helpful for this journey, because whenever you know what to do, no matter what's coming, your confidence is always high. So follow through is a natural side effect of self-love. It's not something you have to condition yourself into. You're not magically born somebody who follows through, or, can become somebody who follows through simply through actions alone. It really comes from self-love. But as you start to follow through, magic starts to happen. Real magic starts to happen. You begin to create the energetic space to receive. As you begin completing all those unfinished tasks, as you begin to file those papers, take that stuff to the local thrift store or shelter or wherever it is that you donate your goods. Clear out that unfinished business, because you're signaling to life, I got more than enough. I got all this stuff that I'm not taking care of. So please don't send me more, but I want more. I need more. Where's more? It doesn't have any room to get into your life. So clear the space for it. The other thing that happens is not only is the physical space cleared, but then the mental and energetic space is cleared. I've been doing a lot of healing in my relationship with my husband, and I cannot tell you how much space it has created in my life, because our not being on the same page was something that I carried into everywhere that I went. So although it was non-physical, it was just energy, it was a distraction everywhere that I went. Didn't matter if I was at the grocery store, trying to work in my business, or playing with my daughter. That heaviness was with me everywhere that I went. As you start to take care of this unfinished business, I mean, think about it. You know that there's something. You know there's something in your life that's been sitting there for a really, really, really long time. And you know how amazing you're going to feel on the other side of doing it. So just do it. Just do it. Again, we're going through all this hurricane prep stuff. And it's like, why don't we do this stuff for ourselves, just so we can enjoy our house more, instead of doing it because there's a storm coming, or cleaning up because there's company coming over, or whatever those things are. Follow through. Follow through. It signals to life, I'm a good steward of what I have, and I'm ready to receive more. I'm taking such good care of what I've got going on now. You throw more into the mix, I'm going to be a good steward of that as well. Action activates your vision. It's not a matter of doing in order to get, but that action, the action of following through, the action of going after what you want, the action of ready, aim, fire, instead of just aiming all the time and not ever taking that shot. The action activates everything else. So often we're sitting here like, well, once I got all the answers, then I'll take action. But it's the action that activates all the answers to come from within you and around you. The action is really crucial. Plus, the action is the physical demonstration of the unseen desires, the internal self. So the balancing of that masculine external physical self with the internal feminine unseen desire, that's what creates manifestation. That's how life unfolds. So as you're practicing your follow through, as you're gifting yourself with all these completed tasks, as you're showing life that you're a good steward, as you're showing life, hey, I got stuff happening. So if you feel like I need more, send more my way. It creates a detachment. It gives you something to do. And this is all the stuff you're going to be doing once you got all the stuff that you want on the other side anyway. You're going to have to file those papers. You're going to have to send those emails. You're going to have to complete those taxes. It's all still going to be happening. So don't look at it like you're perpetually behind. Look at it as that's proof that life's unfolding around you and that it's still going on. None of this is a one and done thing. You don't blink once a day. You don't breathe once a day. You don't take a shower once a year. If you're a mom, you might do it once a week if you're lucky, but you got to do it over and over and over again. It's just what we do. So you're going to have to keep vacuuming the floor and cutting the grass and doing the laundry. This stuff's not ever going to end. So just relax, babe, and just follow through. Whatever's in front of you, where your heart calls for you to do, start following through. Give yourself that space, give yourself that openness, and just signal to life that you are ready. If you want life to see your visions through, why don't you see some things through? Radical idea, I know. You heard it here. So day 3, all this follow through, excuse me, I hope that wasn't terribly loud on the recording or in your ears. Day 3, all this follow through, what does it do? It builds our self-trust, which is like a magical tool that we have within ourselves, that follow through activates. It activates and it builds self-trust. And self-trust is crucial because without self-trust, you're probably never really going to begin the creation process. You're never going to clarify what audience you're speaking to. You're never going to nail down your marketing message. You're never going to be able to make these decisions if you don't trust yourself. You're always going to be like, I don't know. Should I do this or should I do this or should I do this? So once we start to build that self-trust through the follow through, we can begin the creation process. We can begin to look at who do I want to serve? What do they want most? And how do I help to get them there? And as you begin this process of clarifying and speaking to a specific audience, you begin to realize that your ideal clients are already looking for you. You're just not speaking their language. So the more that you can get clarity around who it is that you want to serve, the more you can trust yourself to lean into just speaking to that specific audience, the more you actually open yourself up to the abundance that's around you. And it allows your message to get out in a more clear, more focused, more empowered way, and lets your audience know that you're talking to them. Because when you're talking to everybody, hey, I can help women feel great. Awesome. I'm a woman. I like to feel great. I'll keep that in mind. That's totally different than saying, I am crazy passionate about helping women who have just become moms figure out how to maintain their sanity and not lose their sense of identity while still becoming a kick-ass mom. I got chills saying that. Now you're talking to a specific audience, and even the women who want to feel great now know exactly how you can help them feel great. They know exactly. They're like, you sound just like what my friend Mary was talking about saying that she needed. It just helps people to hear you more clearly. It allows you to be more fully expressed. It's just a total game changer, but you're never going to pick that one specific audience if you don't trust yourself. And when we can begin to shift into a place of trust and knowing that we are good people with a good heart, we got that solid foundation of self-love going, we can trust ourselves to move forward. We can trust ourselves to ask people to ask to invest in our work. We can trust to open our mouths to have a conversation with people. And when you know who you're talking to, what they want most, and how you help them get there, you always have an answer. Whenever somebody asks you what you do or what's your business about, and it will be an answer that will invite them to take action and that will self-attract the right people. And that is a total power move, total game changer. It just, for me, it just completely liberated me because I had a big heart and a big desire, but I just didn't trust myself to say the right thing when the right person presented themselves. And this did the work for me. Total game changer. And it allowed me to feel super duper confident. Because why? All that self-trust and actually getting to the creation process, it led us over to day 4, which is clarity. And if you're somebody who struggles with clarity, I'm going to talk about it here today. Definitely check out this Transform Fear into Confidence challenge, but I'm going to invite you to check out a free training that I'm going to do on Wednesday. I'll post the time because I don't know exactly what the time is. I don't have it here in front of me. But on Wednesday of this week, which is what, the 13th, I'm going to do a training to continue this simple truth. It's got a name, y'all. My webinar series has a name. Simple Truth Series for Conscious Entrepreneur Success. I'm going to be talking all about how do you find that clarity? What is that path to clarity? This all elusive clarity that everybody talks about. Just got to get clear. That's great. How the F do you do it? We're going to talk about it on Wednesday. I'm going to make it practical, simple truths, right? And power shifts. It's going to be really awesome. So if you're somebody who struggles with clarity, and join me Wednesday, we're going to go into a deeper dive. We're going to spend at least 45 minutes talking about it. It's going to be awesome. Can't even wait to see what I say. It's going to be that great. But for day 4 of this challenge, we talked about clarity, and this is where we start to expand our prosperity. When we get clear about our own worth, when we get clear about what's possible for us, when we get clear about the fact that our soul chose us to live this calling through, then we can start to clear out the money blocks. We can start to clear out our blocks around receiving. We can start to up our self-care, and all of this hand in hand really brings us to clarity. Because the bottom line is this: in order to heal your business or your relationship or your life or whatever it is that you're seeking healing around, you have to heal yourself. And I dare say that all of this is just one big healing journey. And when I started to look at it as a healing journey instead of something that I'm either going to F up or get right, it all started to change because I changed how I experienced me as I was going through it. See what clarity can do for you? A little bit of clarity, quantum leaps on the other side of it. So if you want people to give to you, to invest in you, and to honor your gifts, you have to give to, invest in, and honor your own gifts. You have to do this. Receiving begins with yourself. And if you're somebody who really struggles with receiving, just one second. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, I'm getting ready to wrap this up here in just a few minutes, and then we can get you a snack. In the meantime, I would appreciate you working on your water. You show me that empty water bottle, I'll go down and get you a snack, okay? Deal. Got to stay hydrated. Sometimes hunger, it's just hydration. Yeah, we got to work on these things. Okay, so yes, receiving starts with you, and opening yourself up to receiving it's a power move. It's a total power move, especially for women, but especially for us heart-centered, big feeling, energy sensitive entrepreneurs that are out there. We are so good at giving. We are great at giving. In fact, we'd give away all of our services if only that would pay the electric bill and the internet bill and that sort of thing. But it doesn't. It doesn't. Not in that literal of a sense. So we have to begin to expand ourselves. We have to practice receiving. If you can't even receive a compliment, how are you going to receive a fully booked schedule? How are you going to receive a high-end client? How are you going to receive a 6-figure income? How are you going to receive a 4-figure income? If you can't receive a compliment, just saying, think about these things. So if you're somebody who's like, yes, I struggle with receiving, I love the receiving that we talked about on day 4, but I really need like a lot of help on receiving, check out the 21-day money power shift. It's going to be starting October 2nd. Currently, it's an early bird sell right now. So there's a special happening where you can get in for $222. And that's an amazing deal because it's going to go up to $333. And once you're in, again, you can refer others. You can earn some money back. It's pretty cool. And we had about, 27 and 40, so about 67 people that went through the first and second rounds of beta testing for the program. It's dynamite. It's unbelievable. Like, I can't even believe how cool it is. And I was just the steward of getting this message out and passing it along. And if you want to know more about that, you can definitely check out my bit.ly site, bit.ly/money power shift. And it's got all the information, or just reach out to me. I'll make sure that you can see some testimonials, get your questions answered. It's unbelievable. It's a complete and total life and game changer. I'm offering it one more time for 2017, and then I'm going to re-offer it in 2018 for about 3 times the pricing. So really seriously get in on this round. You're in on this round. You can refer to this round, earn referral fees, and then whenever I launch in 2018, you can refer to then and still earn more referral fees. I'm all about a win-win-win, y'all. Y'all should know this by now. I'm all about a win-win-win. So if you're somebody who needs to shift into a more empowered experience around money, you know consciously you're somebody who needs to open up and learn how to receive. That's what the 21-day money power shift is all about. Learning how to receive. And receiving starts with giving to yourself. So self-care, again, becomes an extension of our self-love. If you're somebody who struggles with self-care, go back to self-love, get that in place, and then you will find yourself naturally taking more loving care of this body that's toting you around everywhere and taking care of everybody and has these amazing gifts to bring to the world. When you look at it that way, again, clarity makes all the difference. So I invited you to rewrite your money story. I invited you to ask yourself, where can I allow more? And clear those old stories out of your head and allow yourself to start living into what you consciously know to be true, which is that you're abundantly blessed and full of infinite potential and meant for more, which is why you desire more. Makes total sense to me anyway. And again, at least worth exploring. So day 5 of the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge, it brought us to confidence. Self-love breeds follow-through. Follow-through breeds self-trust. Self-trust leads to clarity, and clarity brings confidence every single time. As soon as I have clarity, bam, I'm confident I can get that work out there. I'm putting together the Simple Truth series right now. I didn't even know what it was called, and I'm going into my 3rd video this week, but it didn't stop me. I just knew that I had a message. I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. I knew the framework of it. I just didn't know what it was called. And I knew that if I sat around and waited till I figured out what the title was going to be, I'd be missing out. And I wasn't confident putting a title on it until I had clarity around exactly what best encompassed what I was bringing to the table. And it didn't throw me off track. I mean, now everything's up and running, and I'm still going to be adding to it as the series continues to evolve. So what I'm trying to express to you, and I trust fully that is coming across, is that clarity makes confidence effortless. So if you're struggling with the confidence, you're like, well, I really feel good about my self-love. I really do trust myself, but I'm still not taking action. I'm still not feeling confident about it. It's that clarity. Get clear. Where is my confidence lacking? Maybe you're rock solid on your messaging, but you're not so confident in your ability to do a live stream. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're confident in your messaging. Maybe you're confident in your ability to live stream, but you're not confident in having to tell your husband that you need an hour to do it. When you can pinpoint and get clarity around where you're lacking confidence, you can just focus your direction on building confidence, focus your energy in the direction of building confidence instead of signing up for another training on how to do live streams. Can you see how we can confuse these things so easily? Once you get that clarity, you've got that confidence. And when you have that clarity, if you've already built your self-trust and done the follow through, you've been able to identify that marketing message, that audience that you're speaking to. Now you have the connection with your value and your creation process of getting your content together and what your pricing is and all of that stuff, right? So now you can have the confidence to engage in a conversation that is heart-centered and connect with that audience, find out what it is that they want, and be able to deliver your offer from the perspective of helping them get to that destination. And also have the peace of mind and, again, clarity of knowing, they get a shorter little boom mic thing. You have the clarity of knowing that when it's a good fit, you're both going to know it. And when it's not a good fit, you're both going to know it. So you can walk away with total peace of mind of knowing you're not missing out on a client because you said something wrong or didn't say the right thing. So confidence is the number one thing that leads to unstoppable action. So you become your best business partner, you follow through on your unfinished business, you created that space, you identified who you wanted to talk to, you cleared all those limited beliefs, and now you're engaging in a totally different level of conversation. And when you can get to that space, you become unstoppable in your business. It's really just that simple. And anything else that seems like it's not that simple, just apply this formula to it, get to where you're not having confidence, and then let that be resolved. And that's the Transform Fear into Confidence challenge in a nutshell. I packed all of that in. I know I hit on a lot of key points, and I know that we got several people on the line who were part of that challenge and going through it currently, maybe hadn't even completed the whole challenge. So I would love to, at this time, open up the lines to see if anybody wants to share takeaways about their experience. If you've been through the challenge or if you're going through it, I would love to just know, what are you taking away? How's the experience been for you? And is there anywhere that we can live right now on the spot bring a little bit more clarity to any of these concepts that you can move forward in even greater confidence? And I have all the lines muted, so make sure that you unmute yourself if you want to speak out, and you can also use the chat function if you're not in a place where you can't speak out. And I'm gonna wet my whistle.
Hi, this is Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Hi. The place that I get stuck in this challenge is it's around feeling like I haven't completed my inner work yet. And how can I really go out there and help people until I do that? And yet I realize that it's a never-ending process. So I kind of get tripped up on that part, because I have in the past worked with people when I was doing counseling work years ago, and I was an apprentice in an apprenticeship, and the woman I was mentoring with kicked me out of the program because she couldn't control. She wanted to control me, and I wasn't allowing her to do that. And so the people I was working with, I didn't know how to follow through with them. And so I eventually let them go, but I didn't let them go in an ideal way. And I know I damaged some people emotionally in the process. And so I was meditating this morning about this stuff, and this memory came up for me. And it was almost like I was feeling like the message was, you need to complete, some of this process first still, before you can go out and really handle the same stuff that people are going to be bringing to your door. If you haven't handled that stuff within yourself, you're not going to be prepared to handle it in somebody else. So I am trained in a lot of different areas. So I don't need to necessarily focus on that. I'm a prolific dreamer, I typically am a prolific dreamer. When I get sick, my dreams stop. But there's a lot of other things I can do that I'm seeing that I don't have to just focus on stuff that I'm not really, really ready for yet. But that tends to be the focus of my attention when I'm working on something. I want to surround myself with all of that. And so anyway, if you could speak to that, that would be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really want to acknowledge you, Alicia, one, for being so open and vulnerable and really taking the time to share this on an open call, to have it resolved. I think that that's really powerful and vulnerable, and I commend you for doing so. And also know fully that you are not the only person who feels this way. You're not alone in this feeling. I definitely have had times that I've looked back at past clients that I've had where I was like, oh my gosh, what a disservice that I did because I didn't know what I know now. But I've had to learn that I can only bring forth that which is needed at the time, even if it appears to set somebody on a not so good course. We have to understand what our role is. Our role isn't to create certain outcomes. Our role is to decide what those outcomes mean. And when we can get ourselves really rooted into this place of divinity expressed in human form, then we can understand anything that we go through is just the divine perfection unfolding. It's just not always going to match how we would define that perfection to be. And then we can kind of take that step back, release the responsibility that is not ours to hold on to, and really welcome in that which is our responsibility, which is the response that comes from within us when we think about these things. So the fact that you have this desire or concern within you of just wanting to bring the best to the table and making sure that you never mislead or do any kind of harm to anybody, that is something to really recognize. Like, that's really exceptional. And the fact that your heart is bringing that forward as, I hope I don't, to me is a clear indicator that you will not. Because the fact that I hope I don't feels like not so good it's a sign that it's more, or it's out of alignment with the truth about what's really happening. So we have to look at the intuition in reverse, so that I hope it doesn't happen and there's an icky feeling with it. It's just a clear indication that that thing happening isn't possible, or else it would feel amazing and expansive. And that's really deep, advanced, not off of a 5-day challenge type answer to give you. But I hope it's at least tapping onto something that allows you to kind of loosen your grip to this situation and relax into the fact that you've got this. And where you're getting tripped up is in this self-trust piece. So trust of the fact that that image that comes forward is your intuition saying, hey, you're on a healing journey and this is what's next to be healed. So this is why we're bringing forth these emotions in you. Let's focus our attention on loving the one who is fearful of doing harm, and really get to know her on a deep, intimate level, and trust her amazing, compassionate heart that's leading her to not want to do harm will allow her to do some amazing work in this world. So if we can kind of slow down and sink into connecting more intimately with the one who's feeling called to do the work, and really begin to trust the outer expression of that one to move forward as the chosen one to bring that work to the world. So you will never come forward into a place, I feel and sense about you, as a place of, I have all the answers, so come to me and I will show you the way. I only sense from you a sense of, I'm going to bring the best of myself to the table, and I'm going to bring everything that I have. And it doesn't mean I'm going to get everything right all the time, but I know my intentions, I know my heart. And at any time, if I need to send you in another direction, then know that I'll do that as well. So it really is more of a self-trust piece than anything else. And just those memories or those fears that are surfacing are the aspects to connect to yourself. And I'm so glad that you're doing the 21-day money power shift, because although it is a money power shift, it really is about learning how to connect to those parts of you that either step forward or shrink back, so that you can begin to develop a relationship with those parts of yourself. And it changes everything. It brings in that self-love, that self-trust, that self-worth, and then we can become more whole, more complete, more fully expressed, and more bold and daring and courageous, but not have to worry about becoming a know-it-all, or somebody who has all the answers, or somebody who's going to be doing harm in the world. Trust yourself. Your soul trusts you for this journey. I don't know. To me, whenever I think about it that way, it's kind of like, okay, maybe I should relax and just kind of go through bringing her desires out to the world. How does that feel to you, Alicia?
That feels good. That feels really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to listen to this tape again, because the first part of it, I was blocking what you were saying. And so I need to hear it again. But the second you said it again, and I feel like it came in.
Yeah. Bring all of yourself back to the replay. So don't just watch it as Alicia who's missing the answer. Watch it with Alicia, who already knows the answer, and external Alicia is just partnering with internal Alicia to be a really good student, instead of external Alicia's missing something, because that's just going to tick off internal Alicia, and she's going to distract you as you're trying to listen to it again, or allow you to hear it and be like, okay, yeah, you got it. Now you're never going to remember that again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Our internal self, we're sassy, we're snarky, we do whatever we got to do to get attention, and we do it to ourselves. So we just need to give ourselves that attention, and then we're like, okay, that's right. Bring all of ourselves to the table.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thanks for being here. Anybody else want to jump out? We got a few more minutes. You know what? We're wrapping up the Q&A right now. And then I'm going to say a lovely little guided meditation to the beauties that are on the line. And then I'm going to get that snack for you. How's that sound? I know you want me to get your snack right now. In just a moment, I will. It'll be worth it, I promise. Okay, since nobody else is jumping out, then I'm going to go ahead and take us out of record mode. And I want to thank everybody who has been here for the replay. I do the live meditations as a treat for those that are here live. So if you want to participate in that, definitely make sure that you're on the live call for next month. Typically, I do this on the last day or the Saturday following the challenge. We switched it up a little bit this time around. But if you are interested in taking a deep dive into any of these concepts that we talked about, definitely connect with me about the Consciouspreneur Mastermind. This week, I'm doing a deep dive into self-worth. We're doing a self-worth power shift. Last month, we did a self-love power shift. And then the previous months of 2017, I dropped all the master workshop series in the group that are focused on all these things, connecting to your intuition, engaging your inner alchemy. I mean, these are really amazing trainings. And if you want a deep dive and a supported community for low investment, but high-end content, high-end community, definitely consider joining me over in the mastermind. The benefits are just they're endless, really endless, and it's a great, powerful group. And if you are interested in being more empowered with money, have a more empowered relationship with yourself in regards to money, or just not get uncomfortable when somebody says the word money, I highly recommend that you check out the 21-day money power shift. It will be starting the first week of October. It's an early bird right now. Such a great deal. Check it out. Early bird's going to be ending, I think, this week, and then we'll be going into the last final get in now before we get started phase. So I would love, love, love for you to check that out and help me spread the word. And join me back next month for the Transform Fear into Confidence Challenge again. If you want to take it over, or if you missed it for this round, we'll be starting that Monday, October 2nd. And yeah, got the Simple Truth series going on now too. So lots of stuff to get plugged into. And I thank you for being here. And if you're on live, don't go anywhere, because I'm just going to get us out of record mode and we're going to have a lovely meditation. All right. Bye to all of our replayers.